A spring storm blew across London Tuesday, toppling trees and leaving nearly 12,000 homes and businesses without power. The late afternoon storm brought rain, hail, and powerful winds gusts of nearly 80 kilometers per hour that lasted for about an hour before the sunshine returned around 5 p.m. For a quick storm, there was quite a bit of damage, broken poles, and down lines. Our crews are currently working to locate and isolate the areas that are most affected, London Hydro said in a social media post at about 8 p.m.
Oh, the garbage cans across
the utility reported at about 5 p.m. that about 11,700 homes and business lost power across the city, with the largest blackouts in Oakridge, Byron and Hyde Park.
Move.
Smaller power losses were recorded in Old South, Pond, Mills and Glanworth, and pockets in West and rural South London. The storm's high winds broke some poles and brought down some power lines. Please stay at least 10 meters away from all damage. Even our crews aren't sure if a wire is live or not until they call in. Safety first, always, London Hydro said. Around 7,000 customers were without power just before 9 p.m., London Hydro said in an update. Outages may last up to 24 hours for harder-hit areas, such as Byron. Damage is extensive, and it will take time for our crews to clean up and repair the area, the utility said. London Hydro also warned temperatures are expected to fall to freezing overnight. If you have vulnerable family or friends impacted by the outages, be sure to check in on them, the utility said. Some London homeowners were still waiting for the power to come back on more than 24 hours following a powerful storm that knocked over trees and forced the closings of 4 schools and a golf course. City crews and private tree companies fanned out in West and South London on Wednesday to clear branches and trees that had fallen on homes, vehicles, and the ground in the storm that swept through the city after 4 p.m. Tuesday. London Hydro crews worked through the night and during the day Wednesday to restore power in the hard-hit areas of Byron, Oakridge, and Longwoods. Because the damage is so extensive, our crews have to go neighborhood by neighborhood, Catherine Arnott, a spokesperson for London Hydro, said Wednesday, especially with the number of trees down. Byron was hit the hardest, so we spent more time in that neighborhood. Barbara Forbes lives on Springbank Drive between Wonderland and Commissioners Roads. She said she heard a big thud that shook her house at about 4:30 p.m. Tuesday and discovered 2 trees about 15 meters tall and more than 100 years old had fallen on her house.
This is amazing. Whoa.
Forbes said she ran to check on her father, who was in a different room.
Oh my God.
We were pretty lucky, she said, because nobody was hurt. But the roof and a side of the home are damaged and there are cracks in the ceiling. London Hydro estimated about 400 customers were still without power at about 5 p.m. Wednesday. Broken poles, downed wires, and tree limbs on lines, especially in backyards, is slowing work by crews to reconnect customers, said Jack Vanderbaan, Vice President of Operations and Planning for London Hydro. We have to ensure our linemen are going into a safe environment, that power has been cut off, and that there isn't any risk of more trees or poles falling over, he said. We anticipate increased weather-related strains on our systems and are proactively planning ways to reduce impacts.
We got hail.
The loss of power led to the closing of Trafalgar Public School, Westmount Public School, St. George Catholic Elementary School in Byron, and St. Rose of Lima Catholic Elementary School in Westmount. Thames Valley Golf Course in Oakridge was closed while crews cleaned up fallen trees and branches. The City of London said Wednesday morning more it had received 200 requests for service to deal with fallen trees and branches. The number was expected to grow throughout the day, the city said. Kat Hodgins, manager of forestry operations for the city, said the number of trees that were toppled was surprising. Often we see a few whole tree fails, but mostly limbs. This one has been mostly whole tree failures. A powerful storm that ripped through Ottawa Tuesday night left thousands in the dark and one family business in Greely picking up the pieces after losing its roof. Albion Glass and Aluminum took a direct hit from fierce winds clocked at up to 90 kilometers an hour, according to Environment Canada. The storm peeled back the roof of the building, scattering debris across the property and knocking out power. I was shocked at first. There's a lot of debris everywhere. I didn't realize the roof was gone until after I came around the corner. There was no power. The power was out, said owner Tony D'Angelo.
Hello.
Fortunately, no one was injured, and a response crew was on site quickly. The family says they're still assessing the full extent of the damage. "We were genuinely so surprised this happened," said his daughter and executive assistant, Anna Maria D'Angelo. "We were expecting some trees to come down, maybe a few of our new ones, not the roof." The violent storm knocked out power to more than 23,000 customers in the Ottawa area and thousands more across eastern Ontario and Quebec. While Hydro Ottawa says most power has since been restored, pockets of the city remain in the dark as crews continue cleanup and repair work. Across the region, torrential rain, fierce winds, and even hail snapped trees and downed power lines. In Barhaven, the strong winds blew down Trish Camfield's fence. At one point, our neighbor across the street here, we could not even see his car. The rain was coming down that hard and the wind was blowing so hard, we actually thought we need to stay away from the windows, said Camfield. Hydro Ottawa says all power is expected to be restored by the end of the day. Thousands of Torontonians are without power due to high winds and storm activity, as strong southwesterly winds continue to blow through the city. Environment Canada had issued a thunderstorm warning for the city, but that has since lifted. A special weather statement remains as up to 80 kilometers per hour are forecast for the evening. Crews are also responding to multiple reports of wires down. A Toronto Hydro spokesperson told CTV News Toronto, noting restoration times vary depending on the area. Based on their outage map, some homes won't see their power turn back on until Wednesday morning. Loose objects may be tossed by the wind and cause injury or damage. More utility outages may occur, Environment Canada said in the weather statement. Motorists, especially in high-profile vehicles, may expect hazardous driving conditions on highways subject to strong crosswinds. The rain started falling just an hour before the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Ottawa Senators in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Scotiabank Arena initially advised fans attending the tailgate to vacate the area due to the inclement weather, but have since reopened the space after the rainfall paused. Earlier in the day, emergency crews were called to the area of St. Clair Avenue and Avenue Road after a tree branch fell on a woman, leaving her with critical injuries. Police say early reports indicate that the high winds may have been a factor. Some of these thunderstorms produce strong wind gusts that can pick up loose objects and cause them to become dangerous projectiles that can cause significant damage to buildings, experts warn. So, the first order of business should be to secure any lawn furniture or loose objects on your property or move them indoors to keep them from flying around. Severe thunderstorm watches are issued a few hours before the storm rolls in, so experts advise keeping a weather app handy so you can keep an eye out for any alerts in your area. Experts say the worst of the storm activity is expected to move down into New York after around 9 p.m. Cooler air will flood into the region in the wake of the cold front that will drive the late afternoon storms, according to Coulter. The temperature will drop from 25 C Tuesday afternoon to just 2 C by Wednesday morning, he says. Thursday and Friday could see the return of some showers, going into Saturday morning. However, Sunday is expected to be mainly sunny.